Hello, loves, and welcome to another reading vlog. This time, we're gonna be reading some spooky horror thriller library books and kind of see what the deal is, what the dealio. The books in question includes 9 Lives by Peter Swanson, The Death of Mrs. Westaway by Ruth Ware, The Last House on Needless Street by Catriona Ward, and Sundial, also by Catriona Ward. As usual, I will tell you a little bit more about each book as we get to them, but now we need to figure out which one we're gonna start with. Which I think The Last House on Needless Street is a good contender for that. So I'll go ahead, get to reading, and come back to let you know what this book is all about. Okay, so I realized I forgot to tell you what this is about. I just read the inner flap. If you haven't read it already, don't. It's stupid. It's a really crappy way of describing what's happening, not interesting at all. I would say you want to go in here knowing as little as possible, and I think a good way to kind of give you an idea is that there's a tragic event that happens, and somebody is kind of accused of being associated or a part of said tragic event, and it's us trying to figure out, along with somebody who kind of moves in nearby, trying to figure out what actually happened and how the people at Needless Street, what's actually going on there. And yeah, go in knowing as little as possible, right? Like, go in knowing as little as possible. That's that. And then I guess we'll go back to me finishing the book and telling you how excited I was about it. Okay. So I have started and finished The Last House on Needless Street by Catriona Ward. And this was a wild ride in the best way possible. I think I'm giving this a 5 stars. And I did just finish it, so all of the reveals and the author's note at the end and all of that is like fresh in my mind. I'm playing back certain things and I'm like, yes, that did a good job. Like, this book was successful. I want to own a copy of this. This is a library copy, and now I want to get an actual copy and annotate it, since annotating is my new favorite thing. Okay, and there was a couple of moments where I was all like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how I feel, I guess, is a good way to say it. But I was interested enough, it kept me engaged. I did it all this morning. Yeah, oh my goodness. I don't even know how to articulate my thoughts. I know people said great stuff about it. It wasn't what I was thinking. I think both your expectations along with the actual intentions of the book was both well done. I can't say 100% for sure, but based off of my, my personal assumptions, my personal experience and things that I have seen and heard, my assumptions is that it was crafted and handled very, very well. It was very interesting, very engaging. It touched on a couple of things. I liked what it was trying to do. I appreciate it. I liked it. This is a good one. I want a copy for myself, which now makes me regret that I don't put books that I have read before on my wish list. Okay, so I think I'm gonna be trying to read The Death of Mrs. Westaway next. As far as I'm aware, this is about a woman who has the same name as someone else. And so she claims the inheritance of Mrs. Westaway because it was meant for someone else or something like that. And so there's obviously going to be some issues with that and some creepy, spooky, thrillerish things that happen. I have no clue. I could be wrong. So once I get a little bit into this, I will let you know if I was correct or not. Okay, so today is Friday and I have started The Death of Mrs. Westaway by Ruth Ware. And okay, I'm enjoying this for the most part. Like, I'm having a good time. I started it this morning. I've gotten more than halfway through it. We have a woman under financial distress who ends up in a situation where she can go pretend to be somebody else and try and get an inheritance. And in the process of doing this, she starts to uncover some really interesting things about the family. Things are not what they seem, is basically what's going on. And I'm enjoying it. We're getting some reveals, we're learning some things, and I am really interested in finding out what is happening, but part of me almost feels like it's like destined to be something kind of all like meh. I don't know though. I've read The Turn of the Key, I believe, which is also by Ruth Ware, earlier this year, and I really enjoyed that. Like the like twists and stuff that had happened I thought was really interesting, so I am hopeful for this. But I've been reading it off and on throughout the day, but I'm kind of planning on taking a break and maybe just like watching YouTube videos for a little while. That's kind of my update on where this is. So I don't think I'm gonna finish this today. I'll probably finish it tomorrow and I'll give you an update then. Oh hey, it is me again. I just wanted to pop in and say, if you are enjoying the video, be sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification, all that good stuff, and consider becoming a channel bestie where you can get access to the extended cut versions of reading vlogs like this, along with the exclusive tabletop TBR game or other fun exclusive videos that I share with my besties. And we just launched the Besties book clubs, which are exclusive book clubs for both the Patreon besties and the YouTube channel besties, so check those out as well. Also, to let me know that you made it this far, include a comment with your best 2 to 3 emoji set of whatever makes you think of spooky fall themes. And let's get back to the video. Good morning. So today is Saturday and I just finished The Death of Mrs. Westaway by Ruth Ware. I'm sorry, I have not been filming very much. Yeah. There's a lot. This is book number 2. I have interesting feelings about this. Nothing super strong either way. I enjoyed the book. It did things that I wanted it to do, and yet I'm not like blown away or super excited about it in any particular way, which is kind of frustrating because like it did do things that I wanted when it was kind of setting stuff up. I'd be like, oh yeah, it'd be interesting if like this, or oh, as I was going on, like, oh yeah, like maybe something like this happened, you know, like, yeah, I don't know why I feel meh. I enjoyed it. I didn't love it. I'm thinking somewhere with a 3 or a 4 stars. Like, I really did like a lot of what the book did, but I feel like I'm gonna forget about this book and that'll be that. Like, I don't know if it's necessarily all that memorable, which is kind of heartbreaking. But yeah, right now I do feel good. Like, I do feel like it's closer to a 4 at the moment. I like Ruth Ware's writing. I like the kind of storytelling and the kind of reveals that she does, but for some reason I don't love it. Like I like it, but I just kind of, okay, yeah, that was a good book. So yeah, weird feelings. Now I currently have 9 lives and Sundial left. I'm waiting for this to open up at my library. Technically, the audiobook is available on Scribd, but I usually try not to use Scribd unless I have to because they tend to like remove stuff if you listen to too much. So I'm holding off, but I might end up listening to this on Scribd. Right now, I'm thinking I'm gonna dive into 9 Lives by Peter Swanson. And it says, if you're on the list, someone wants you dead. I am a little bit nervous about this one because I didn't necessarily love his last book, but we'll see how similar this is or isn't, and hopefully we'll have a good time. I do today have some house stuff that I need to do. I ended up buying some like garage shelves for the basement so that we could put, you know, seasonal stuff down there when we're not using it. And then I got a bunch of like plastic bins and stuff to put everything in. But I've been putting off actually assembling the shelves because I'm just tired of, you know, putting together furniture and doing house stuff, which sucks because there's still a decent amount of stuff left to do. So today I'm going to try and put together those shelves. I'll be listening to 9 Lives, and then hopefully all will be good. I need to do it basically this weekend because I think Monday or Tuesday is the last day I can return the shelves if there's something wrong with them. And I was like, it would just suck if I paid the money for these shelves and then I finally get around to like putting them together and find out that they're like missing pieces or something. So I want to find that out before I can't return them. So like I have to do it, but I figured I would listen to audiobooks while I'm doing it. And then if today goes well, then I might even start doing some stuff in the garage. So basically what I'm saying is today is going to be a listen to audiobooks while doing house chores kind of day. I'll try to take you along a little bit, but I'm really bad at filming. I'm really bad at vlogging when I'm doing anything other than like reading or very specific things. So we'll see how that actually goes. Okay, so I am here in the lovely, lovely basement. This is one of the few spots that I didn't actually show in the empty house tour because I mean like it's a unfinished basement. I'm putting together these. I'm gonna put in those plastic bins. They're gonna go in on these. So I have 2 of them. Hopefully that'll hold most of the plastic bins that I have. I am listening to 9 Lives and it's very clinical how it's telling you everything, which I don't necessarily enjoy that. And it's interesting learning my preferences. I just realized how spooky that door looks in the background. I am interested in the story so far, but I'm not loving it. I don't love the way that the story is being delivered. And this might just be a thing for me and, is it Peter Swanson? With Peter Swanson. Because I feel like the writing was very similar to Every Vow We Break. And even though that one had like some interesting twists and turns and it was, I don't know, I feel like I kind of hated that when I was reading it, but then I also found it to be interesting. And by the end I was like, okay, it's cool. I don't know if I want to put up with that though. Like I'm gonna finish it for this one, but like maybe in the future I should avoid his books because even though I'm happy at the end, I guess this is the second book, I could be wrong. What I'm getting at is even if I like the ending, I don't enjoy the experience. But yeah, it's the book that I have on audio right now, so it's the one I'm listening to because I would like to continue to listen to this while I work on putting that stuff together. Okay, hey, it is editing me here, and looking back at that footage, my basement looks so friggin' creepy. Like, I knew that when I got the house. But like, because the previous owners like spray painted parts of it, like, you know, there's that like broken down wall, which is a normal thing in really old houses. Like, it just looks so creepy, especially because like I ended up going to my cousin's house who just bought a house as well, and she has like, it's a newer house, but she has like a semi-finished basement, and I'm just like, oh man. Like, mine looks so spooky. I love it to some degree. I hate the spiders, but the basement I actually am not mad at, even though it's kind of like creepy and weird. So yeah, that's that's just wanted to come in and say that. Okay, so I successfully finished 9 lines while putting together the shelves for the basement for storage purposes, and 3 stars, 2 stars. There's nothing wrong with it. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I didn't enjoy the actual process of uncovering stuff. I figured the mystery, it was vaguely interesting, and I kind of wanted to know, but I also didn't. I do realize that I've heard people talk about this. There are things in here that are just unnecessary. I didn't really care. It didn't bother me too much. The slurs in reference to something, but I mean, like, they didn't need to be there. And it's a connection that it's just kind of all like, I don't know. The story was vaguely interesting. The little ending, whatever, was interesting, or like the reveal was slightly interesting. Nothing mind-blowing, nothing that I super care about. It's whatever. And then finally, we've gotten to Sundial. This is the second Katrina Ward book of this little reading vlog, and I was excited because I loved the first one so much, Last House on Needless Street. I could care less about this. It's another one that I don't enjoy the process, and since it's not super clear to me what the point is, like, I don't have a thread to keep me interested in the parts that I'm not interested, if that makes sense. Now, that was possibly true with this as well, but I was doing stuff and just needed something to listen to, so it didn't matter. Like, it was just on in the background. Now that I'm like sitting here and relaxing and just focusing on the book, and this is the book that I'm listening to, I could care less. So far, what I know, and I'm like a couple chapters into it, we have a mother who has a couple of kids and a crappy relationship with her husband. One of her daughters is questionable, and after an event, she decides that she's going to take her daughter to a place that her family calls Sundial. It's an estate, or not an estate, maybe an estate. It's a plot of land, basically, with like the house that she owns. And so she takes her daughter to Sundial so that they can have a bonding experience and so that she can have a serious conversation. We're going through some history with her and her family, which is whatever. Every once in a while you hear from the perspective of the daughter, which is kind of interesting. But overall, I could care less. Like, I don't care for the characters. I don't care for the plot or lack thereof. Like, I mean, like, obviously you want to know what the deal is with her kid, what the deal is with this place to like some degree. And I am vaguely interested, but not really enough to want to put up with how much I'm just like not enjoying it. So I think I am going to take a step back. I'm going to read something completely different, unrelated to all of this, and then if I'm still interested in continuing this and figuring out what the deal is, then I might pick this back up. So I'm going to do that for a while, and I will come back to you later when I know what's up. This is so sad because I was all like, ooh, this is so successful. All of these books are so good. Like, I feel like the first 2 books were pretty good. I really enjoyed, like, loved The Last House on Needless Street. Loved that book. 5 stars. I want to own it and, like, annotate it. There are issues with it, but I mean, like, the experience was enjoyable. I was invested and I liked what the author was trying to do. So since I liked that so much, part of me wants to finish this just so that I can see what she's trying to do and if it wraps up really nice. But I'm just not enjoying this experience. And at least with The Last House on Needless Street, there was a mystery thread, an element, a constant I need to know what's happening feeling, and I don't have that with this. I don't have anything that's really compelling me to continue. And then The Death of Mrs. Westaway was a slower book, but I feel like it was relatively enjoyable throughout. It was interesting, kind of uncovering things, the mystery elements, the just trying to figure out what was going on. It wasn't amazing, but I did really enjoy it. So those 2 have been hits for me so far. And then 9 Lives, nothing wrong with it. Didn't really like it. It was meh, middle of the road. And this one I feel like is the same, but I just don't care, right? Like, I don't think this is a bad book. And if I do end up DNFing, which I'm leaning towards right now, I'm not going to say that there's anything wrong with this. Like, some people love the Peter Swanson 9 Lives book, and I was bleh about it. And I feel like this is similar. I really wanted to like this though. All right, so we have come to the end of the vlog. So quick recap, I've had some pretty good books. We have The Last House on Needless Street by Catriona Ward, which is a 5 stars. I really enjoy it. Would like to get a copy for myself so that I can annotate it and reread it at some point. The Death of Mrs. Westaway by Ruth Ware, which was kind of meh for me, but the more I think about it, the more I kind of like what was happening. I think I was on the fence of a 4 star and a 3 star and bumping it up to 4 star because I did like it. There's a lot that I enjoyed and I was definitely invested throughout the whole thing. Then we ended up finishing 9 Lives, which was a real so-so type of book. This is like a 2 star, 3 star. I didn't hate it, didn't love it, it's whatever. And then last but not least, Sundial, also by Catriona Ward. And this one is a DNF for me, unfortunately. The story seems interesting, it's just not super engaging for me, and I'm just not in the mood to try and push through it right now. So yeah, that is our final ratings. Now I just have to bring these back to the library and hopefully get my own copy of this one eventually. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section down below. Subscribe, consider becoming a bestie. There is a new book club tier that I'm really excited about, so consider checking that out, and I will catch you in the next video. Until then, bye!